Well, Light, it's all over.
Hello guys, welcome back to my reaction channel. Today we're going to be reacting to episode 3 of Death Note. Guys, this is... Before we start, first off, I don't know if you noticed the intro. I created that after watching the first 2 episodes, okay? So all the material was from those 2 episodes, so I didn't get spoiled, if that's what you're wondering. But I wanted to, make it different. I didn't want to use the Naruto intro because we're watching Death Note, and come on. That's just disrespectful to the artist of this anime. So I wanted to compose something little for this anime. So I hope you like it. And now the kid. Let's talk about the main guy. His name is Light Yagami. Did I get that correctly? Because I rewatched the episodes because I was like, how do I not know the name of the main guy? So I believe Professor called him out 2 times. Once he said Light. The other time he said Yagami. So tell me in the comments. I might be wrong. Maybe these are nicknames. Maybe that's how they call students in Japan. I don't know, but I believe that's his name. And the other dude that's hunting him down is just L. That's simple to remember because one of my initials is L. So that's dope. That's dope. I am loving this anime so far. Like I said, if it's dark, if it's gloomy, if it has a good story, if it's intelligent enough to make me think, I'm gonna love the crap out of it. And I really do, guys. So we're going to be jumping right into this episode. But before we do, if you enjoy my reactions, feel free to share, subscribe, like, leave a comment, ring that bell for notifications, guys. Follow me on Instagram, join my Discord server, and let's jump right into this reaction.
Greetings to all of you at the ICP.
Okay, we're getting another recap of the last episode.
Every party is an individual or a group. There's a strong possibility that they're Japanese.
Yeah, this was so smart, man, of that detective.
What you hope to achieve. However, what you're doing right now is evil.
He triggered him.
Bastard.
Try to kill me.
I am justice. I protect the innocent and those who fear evil. I'm the one who become the god of a new world that
The
everyone
way they
desires.
portrayed this.
Kira, I will hunt you down wherever you're hiding, and I
Will eliminate you. I am justice.
Dealings. Okay. I am justice. I love that. I love that. And I also love the fact that this detective guy didn't have a single clue to go on, man. He didn't have a single clue to go on. And he devised this plan and it worked. And now he has something to go on. He knows where this kid's hiding. He doesn't know it's a kid. He doesn't know the kid goes into a high school, but he does know it's divine. He's somehow able to kill people without even being there. And he also knows that you can't kill him. Like, he can't kill him because he can't see him. So that's a lot of information for somebody who didn't have anything to go on, and damn. So that guy is really lived up to his name. Like, I'm loving this. And they're gonna go head to head.
Let's start with the tip line reports.
Yes, sir.
Serial murder special
Up to this
investigation
point, we've
headquarters.
received
Okay.
3,029 responses about the murders via telephone and email. Most of these have been curious citizens and prank calls, but there are 14 people who claim to either know Kira or who have seen him.
Of course.
All 14 accounts were followed up on and carefully documented. However, nobody could provide any information that wasn't already publicly available.
Yeah, cloud
And
chasers.
lastly, this week there were an additional 21 people who called in claiming to be Kira.
Yup. More people with god complexes that want to be in the center of attention, even though this is like they would get a freaking death penalty. No, it doesn't matter. There are people like this. So yeah, I like how they depict real life questions, and this is what would eventually happen. So that's dope, man. That's a dope little detail that people are calling all around, like, I'm Kira, or I know him, I know. Like, they just want some attention. Damn, man.
We didn't want to rule anything out, so we followed standard procedure and created files for all 21 of them.
All right, on to the victim reports.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Upon further investigation,
We have confirmed that information of the heart attack victims was in fact publicly available in Japan immediately prior to their deaths. Also, concerning L's request that we investigate the time of death for each victim, we found that all of them occurred between the hours of 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. on weekdays, local time, with 68% of them occurring between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. Weekends and holidays appear to be the exception to this rule, as the times of death vary much more widely than during the week.
That information is extremely relevant for us.
From that, he can deduce that this guy doesn't like it. He has specific time frame when he's killing, because he has a life aside from that. And on the holidays, it's not so narrow because he has more time. Man, this is so analytical. I love it.
It suggests that given the times of death, our suspect could very well be a student.
He went there right away.
Based on the fact that Kira's only killing criminals, I think it's safe to assume that he's driven by a very idealistic notion of justice.
True.
It's highly possible he may even aspire to be some sort of godlike
Damn.
figure. We're dealing with an individual who has a very childish concept of right and wrong. Of course, this is mere speculation at this point, but still I recommend you re-examine any assumptions you've made as to whether or not our suspect could be a student. We must consider every possibility. I believe that is the shortest route to finding and arresting Kira. Please continue with your report.
He really went there right away.
Else have something they'd like to add.
Yes, sir.
What is it, Matsuda?
Well, I'm not saying this to support Kira or to condone the murders, but in the last few days throughout the world, but especially here in Japan, we've observed a dramatic decrease in the number of violent crimes committed.
So he's saying...
Well, I suppose it makes sense. We've suspected something like that would happen. Anything else?
Okay, he wanted to flash some light on the fact that this might be going some good, you know, because criminals will eventually, like, see this and be like, okay, we need to tone it down a bit because I don't want to die. But that is not sustainable. And at one point, it's gonna, you know, go bonkers all over. So this guy is a low-key for Kira, and that's why everybody else was like, you know? But at the same time, he does have a point, you know? So this is a true mind game and a very good question. I can go on this topic forever. Like, I would really like to discuss this with somebody. Hear your guys' point of view. Tell me in the comments. What do you think about this guy's divine intervention, like him being godly? Like, okay, aside, God complex aside, tell me, if you had this note, would you be doing this? Could you sleep after doing such a thing? Like, that's, even though these are criminals, it's a deep question. Like, think it through. And this detective, L, jumping right to the fact that he's a schoolboy, like, maybe, yeah, that time frame, maybe that tells him that he's doing it after school. Okay.
Well, that about sums up our report for today. L?
Thank you, everyone. I feel we're one step closer to finding Kira. Before I go, I'm afraid I have one additional request to make. This is directed to the teams investigating the victims, TV news, and internet.
Okay.
I would like you to go back and take a closer look at the exact way in which the victims' identities were made public. Be as thorough as possible.
In particular, I want to know if photos of the victims were made available to the public in Japan.
I'll leave it to you.
Okay, by that request, I believe he's trying to deduce whether this guy can kill you without a photo, because he didn't show himself on TV and he was not murdered. And we saw that Kira would have killed him if he could. So I believe this guy, whoever he is, they keep showing more and more of him to us. He looks like a basic dude, by the way. Like the hair, the white clothes, like, you know. But I think he's trying to deduce how is he killing, you know, because he doesn't know the rules. We know the rules because it was written in the notebook, but damn, that guy's smart.
You look like you could use one of these. Sleeping much?
Ah, thank you. That'll do the trick. I feel all these late nights are starting to take their toll.
About what I said earlier at our meeting. Well, now that I think about it, I'm sure everyone already knew that. I wanted to apologize.
What on earth are you
because
talking
he
about?
spoke
Nobody
out.
said it would be easy to speak the truth, but it has to be done, especially when it's something that isn't easy to say. Huh? Having said that, if you've gone on to say that we should commend Kira for doing such a great job of reducing violent crime, then yes, I might have had a little problem.
Yeah, see, this guy's cool, okay? I believe they said he's chief, right? So he's cool. He was like, that's your opinion, and you just spoke your mind, and what, like, yeah, it is, like, that makes sense what you said, but if you are telling me, you're trying to tell me that we should praise this guy for doing this, then yeah, I might have a problem with that. Okay, so yeah, he spoke facts. The criminals, like, the crime has decreased. Those are facts, but if you want us to not search for this dude and just let him do whatever he wants, no, I do not agree with that. And yeah.
Oh no, no, I wouldn't. That would never happen.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
He's pulling his leg.
I knew I could count on you, Light.
Hey, so do you think you're ready to try a few on your own?
So this
now?
is your sister, right?
Yeah, I guess.
They still didn't say it, but she lives with him, so
Sounds like
a
Dad's
younger
home.
sister.
Welcome home.
Dad.
Thank you.
We didn't see
He's
Dad.
home really early today.
Hey, why don't you at least try the last problem by yourself?
I will, but maybe after.
She's not interested.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Helping your sister with
Sister,
her homework.
yeah.
You sure are relaxed.
Of course. If the police try to come after me, I'm pretty confident I've got something that'll give me the advantage. Hey, glad you could join us for dinner. You hungry, Dad?
Yeah, it's been a long day.
No way! His dad is the chief working on this case? Come on, man, a plot twist? No way. And he said in the last episode he aspired to be a detective, right? And yeah, he does have a mindset for that. He's analytical, the kid. But that aspiration came from his dad. So his dad, yeah. Children usually want to be something that their parents are, So this makes sense. And yeah, they didn't show the father until now for a reason. So that's an interesting plot twist. So he can find out about the investigation from his dad.
So, Light, tell me, how are your studies?
I'm sorry, that is so creepy. That's that thing standing behind them as they're eating, and only this kid can see it. It's like having a ghost in the house. Tell me that's not creepy. And the way he looks, creepy AF, man.
Everything's okay, I guess.
Whatever. He's at the top of his class. My big brother's a genius.
I'm not able to say too much about it, but this case I'm working on now is really tough.
Well, Daddy's a policeman.
That's right. It's easy for me to hack into Dad's computer.
This kid is so smart, man. And that's why he's so confident, because he has a mole. A very important mole in the investigation. He can gather intel on himself and devise a strategy to counter it. Guys. Damn, if his dad only knew that he's looking for his son. Damn, can you imagine the morality of that issue? He needs to arrest his son for being a serial killer. He thinks, like, they praised him. My brother's a genius. He has top grades. They have this. They're holding him to high regard. Imagine his father finding out that this boy is giving him such difficulty at work. The suspect is eating dinner across the table from him. Just let that sink in.
Well, isn't that interesting? Looks like the police are already beginning to suspect a student.
He already knows.
I guess that means you're in trouble.
He seems confident still.
If the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of writing the person's name, it will happen. If the cause of death is not specified, the person will simply die of a heart attack.
Okay.
After writing the cause of death, details of the death should be written in the next 6 minutes.
40
of
seconds, yes.
That sound right to you, Duke?
So what's your point?
In other words, if I write heart attack as the cause of death, then I should be able to write down all the details, including time of death afterwards, shouldn't I? Looks like I'll be able to provide you with more entertainment now.
Oh, so by doing so, they're not gonna die at the same time frame, and he's gonna have to, it's gonna be more difficult for them to narrate the waters to him. Okay, he's gonna try and distract them with all these details that he's gonna add. Okay. This is so detailed, man. I'm loving this. Okay, see what they're portraying here? He's at school doing his own thing, and the people are dying as he's in school, which means now that they look at the time frames, they can't connect to him because he has an alibi. How's it school, you know? And all the previous deaths that guy L wanted the police to check up on, he saw that the time frames were when this boy is like after school, you know, that's the time frame, and that's why he deduced that he's from, like, he goes to school. But what he's doing here is throwing him off trail because he's setting up like the heart attacks to appear in different time intervals when he's busy, when he's in school, so thus throwing them off from the schoolboy theory. And that is genius. Yep, see? And they're depicting it here, like as he's doing his own like thing, having fun in school, eating and everything. The prisoners are still dying out of a heart attack. So at first it was a heart attack by default because he didn't write the specifics, but here...
What? I don't believe this. Another 23 victims yesterday? Are these confirmed? Yes.
The day before, there were another 23 victims. He's killing one off every hour on the hour.
Considering that this new pattern has been going on for 2 weekdays,
It does punch some holes in the theory that our suspect is a student. Maybe not. Anybody can skip 2 days of school.
You're missing the point. It does appear less likely now that Kira is a student, but that's not the message he's sending by doing this. Ask yourselves, why every hour? And why are all these victims in prisons where they are sure to be discovered immediately? Why not other criminals like before? I believe Kira is telling us that not only can he kill from a distance, but he can also determine the time of death.
Okay, this guy is so... everything Kira does, everything he does, this guy takes something from it. Whether it's a small detail or a big one. He takes something from it. He gains information from that. Like here, he did all this to throw him off, but this guy went, no, you're missing the point. This tells us this. He's just, you know, I love that.
But something's not right. As soon as we began to suspect that Kira might be a student, the pacing of the killings changed, as if to contradict that theory. Coincidence?
I think not,
No.
yeah.
Too
Too convenient.
This can only mean that Kira has access to police information. This is a direct challenge to me.
I'd say L is probably starting to sweat a little by now. What'll really make his job difficult is that I've deliberately left about 50 criminals alive for times like this.
Oh?
If L's as good as they say, by now he should be starting to suspect someone with connections to the police.
And did...
So Kira has found a way to obtain information from the task force headquarters. This is one fact that cannot be ignored. But what does he get out of all this? What is he hoping to achieve in the end?
There's one thing I don't get. Showing them you have connections to the police makes it easier for them to find you than when they just suspect that
Yes.
you're a student.
Well, my real agenda is to get close to L so I can eliminate him.
How are you gonna do that?
You still don't understand human beings. In this world, there are very few people who actually trust each other. And it's no different for the police, you know. What's especially important is that L and the investigators don't trust each other at all. Think about it. Could you trust someone whose name and face you don't even know? When L discovers that I'm somehow getting confidential information, he'll be obligated to start investigating the police to find the source of the leak. When that happens, it'll only be a matter of time before the police start resenting L. On the surface, it will appear that L and the investigation team are working together to try to catch me. But in reality, L will investigate the police, and they will be investigating L.
And thus, in doing so, he's gonna gain the information about L through his dad's computer. He's trying to rile up the troops, guys. This kid is smart, man. I am loving this confrontation and back and forth between these two because they both seem so intelligent. Okay, so yeah, that guy L deduced that this guy has, input in the police work, but Kira, as people call him, he expected that. And he actually played on that card because he knows human behavior. And if he starts investigating the police, which he's obligated to do, if he suspects something, they're going to be like, you're going to investigate us? We don't even know who you are. And then they're going to start, and then he's going to gain access. I love it.
I'm not the one who's going to find out. I can let the police do that.
He's gonna use
and
them.
When they do, that's when I'll eliminate him.
Oh my god. I cannot. What did that say? This note shall become the property of the human world once it touches the ground, arising the human. Oh, okay. Property of the human world. The owner of the note can recognize the image and voice of its original owner, God of Death. Okay.
What's this about?
Man.
With all due respect, Chief, we're resigning.
What?
We demand that you assign us to a different case. Otherwise, you can have our badges right here and now.
Why? You're good
Why?
cops.
Isn't it clear? It's because we value our lives, sir.
If what L says is true, Kira has some ESP-like power that somehow allows him to kill people indirectly from anywhere.
Well, if I were Kira, sir, I'd probably want to try and get rid of the people who are trying to catch me.
That's
Let's face
true.
it, he knows he'll be sentenced to death if he's caught.
We all sat here and watched when L decided to pull that media stunt and challenged Kira to kill him. Well, it was all very impressive at the time. But then again, L never had to show his face or reveal his name for that matter. I'm sure you recall L's last request. He asked that we take a closer look at how these victims' identities were made public, and specifically to determine whether photos of the victims were available to the public prior to their deaths. Well, it turns out he was right. Every single one of those victims' names and photos were broadcast to the Japanese public, and then they died. Unlike someone we know, we're out there investigating this case wearing police IDs with our names and photos on them. Anybody with a computer can find out who we are. We don't hide our faces, we're out in the open.
And thus the resentment towards L begins because he hid his face and identity, so he is safe. But in doing so, he challenged Kira, aka this light dude, and he, and he stirred the waters. And these guys are on the front line feeling the impact. So I can't even call these dudes cowards because they're the ones that are gonna get killed off if this kid gets ticked off. So yeah, I might be resigning too if I was in this situation. But we can see the resentment here boiling in the cops. Because your behind is safe behind that laptop, L, but you threw us to the shark. And that's not cool. So,
Sir, the truth is we could be killed by Kira at any time.
For these reasons, we refuse to continue working this case. Excuse us, Chief.
Damn, man.
Hey, stop! All of you!
Can't even
Hold it
blame
right
them.
there!
Can't even blame them.
In order to solve this problem, we must establish the concept that x squared equals large.
What?
Now pay attention because this is important. Before we tackle more complex quadratic equations, we have to
He
start
felt
with
something?
large x's value as simply the multiple of two integers. Now, let's apply this concept to our first problem.
We brought the FBI to Japan 4 days ago. They're fully operational. As requested, they're now gathering intel on the police.
And this is the complete list?
Yes.
There are 141 people in the police force who have access to classified information regarding the investigation. I am sure that somewhere in this list of police officers and the people closest to them, we will find our suspect.
Okay, so he's going in the right direction.
Right. You got a second?
I already told you you can't talk to me in public. How many times do I have to tell you?
In that case, I'll talk, you just listen. If you don't want to hear me, you can plug your ears or something. First of all, I don't have anything against you. I actually think the notebook couldn't have been picked up by a better person.
Yeah, because he's entertaining the crap out of this god. Like he's following this kid around and he's having fun because this kid is unpredictable and I'm also having fun. But at the same time, the kid has some dangerous ideology. I don't know. Okay.
I'm here because I have to stick around till the death note is finished, or I see you die, whichever comes
Oh,
first.
so he has to stick
But
around.
make no mistake, Light, I'm not on your side or El's side.
Oh, so he's just
Well, I knew that much.
neutral.
You'll never hear me say anything about whether what you're doing is right or wrong. I'm not here to support you or give you my opinion. I'm just a spectator. But as your roommate, I might have a few things to say now and then.
What's this about, Ryuk? Why are you telling me
Yeah,
all this stuff
like-
now anyway? It's really not like you.
It's just that I'm no ally of yours, or Kira's if you prefer. The only reason I'm gonna tell you this is because personally it's starting to creep me out.
Get to the point already.
Yeah.
You're being followed by another human. He's watching you right now.
That's what he saw at school. He's being followed. And the god of death told him. He didn't even notice.
It's really starting to get on my nerves. I realize there's no way he can see me. But because I'm always following behind you wherever you go, I feel like I'm constantly being watched.
That's a problem. I'll have to get rid of him as soon as possible.
Interesting.
Who would be following me? Does this mean Elle is already starting to suspect the police?
But you predicted this, right? You said that, you did this to stir up the waters and now you're like questioning like whether, yeah, the dude is smart, obviously, so yeah. So they mentioned something about FBI arriving from America, I'm assuming, so they're helping in this investigation. And Al, we saw that he had a ton of papers and the profiles of all the policemen on this case. And he said, I'm sure that somebody related to, and like, we're gonna find this person. So maybe he assigned, like, every single one of these policemen has a child or somebody that does go to school, even this kid. So maybe he assigned an agent to follow all these people. And now we're seeing, oh man, this is so... I have so many theories, okay? But I love their intellectual battle, because this is not a physical battle, but it's, they're trying to up one another all the time, like, as we're going through this, and it's
If he's going to
so
investigate
different.
the police, he'll need a lot of resources and manpower. Even if he has as many as 50 people on the case, I don't see how they could ever figure out that I'm Kira. I shouldn't look like anything other than your average high school senior. But the longer I let this person keep following me, the greater the chances they'll figure out who I really am. Above all, I need my stalker's
Yeah.
name. Once I figure that out, I can get
Name
rid of him
and
for
face.
good.
Light. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. What makes a Shinigami and a human who has a death note different? Well, there are two things.
okay.
And why do Shinigami have to write the names of humans in their death notes? You got any ideas?
Of course.
Yeah.
Not. Why would I know that? You sure are talkative today.
It's because we are able to take human lifespans for ourselves.
Wait,
What?
do you mean by that?
Let's say you have a human who is due to live until the age of 60, and a god of death wrote that this person would die at 40. 60 minus 40 equals 20. Now those 20 years taken from someone in the human world are added to that god of death's life.
So they're not immortal, but they're stealing other people's lifespans? That's their power? That's what they feed on? The life energy of others?
So it means that as long as we don't slack off, even if someone was to shoot us in the head or stab us in the heart with a knife, a god of death cannot die. On the other hand, no matter how many names you write in your death note, your lifespan will not increase. That is the first difference between gods of death and humans.
You're still vulnerable. You're still human. You might have my power, but you are still just human. That is an interesting detail. I haven't And this guy looks so creepy, man. Like he's so like his clothes and I love the earring and I love his design, but he's always creeping around and
To
he's
possess a
huge.
death
Like
note.
That's something about Shinigami that I haven't heard before.
yeah.
Pretty interesting stuff.
The second difference between us will probably be of even greater interest to you. Though this has less to do with lengthening life and more to do with cutting it short.
What do you mean cutting it short?
What?
Shinigami
That's
can
close.
tell what a person's name is by just looking at their face. We know instantly. And do you have any idea why? Because through a Shinigami's eyes, a human's name can be seen above their head. Not only that, we see their lifespan as well.
Their name and lifespan?
That's all you need, right? That is OP. So you just walk down the street, you can kill anybody? Somebody like, and you just, all you need is to see their face and you have their lifespan and name. So yeah, that is certainly like useful.
That's right. I'm able to see your name and lifespan right
So
now.
he knows how long is this boy gonna
If I
live?
converted that to human time, I could tell you how many years you've got left. But there's no way I'd ever tell you that.
Why not?
I may have a big mouth, but even I wouldn't go that far. Shinigami never have to worry that they won't be able to kill a person just because they don't know their name. And every time we do take a life, we always know exactly how many years we're going to receive. Our eyes just aren't the same, and that is the difference between you and I.
The eyes.
However, if a Shinigami drops his death note and a human picks it up, he can grant that human the eyes of a Shinigami.
What?
But only if a deal is made, one that's been with us since ancient times.
And what's the deal?
Oh no. This reminds me of the deal with the devil, man. No, do not do it. Because I'm assuming the repercussions are gonna be, heavy.
The price for having a Shinigami's eyes is half of that person's remaining lifespan. That's all it is.
No.
Half of my remaining lifespan.
Yeah. In other words, if you were supposed to live another 50 years, it'll be 25. If it was one more year, then 6 months.
I see. And since you've made it clear you're not on anyone's side, and won't help me out, you wouldn't just give me the names of people I want to kill. Basically, you're saying that I can't simply borrow your powers. I'd have to pay for them.
That's right. It's a key part of the code that all Shinigami are bound by. I'll say this once more. Give me half your remaining lifespan, and I'll give you the Shinigami eyes.
If I agree, I'll be able to know everyone's name just by looking at them. If I had that power, the Death Note would only be easier to use.
The soundtrack. Divine.
Is it a deal?
And it's gonna make it that more easy to find this guy's name and to be continued. Guys, are you kidding me? No, do not do it. And the way this guy pitched his sales pitch, give me half of your remaining lifespan and I will grant you these eyes. No, do not do it. What if you have 60 more years to live and you give him half? So in 30 years you're dead? Hell no, man! And it's still not that difficult to kill somebody, okay? You have Death Note, you just need 2 things. So just, come on, man, how? But this kid did seem interested, not gonna lie. He was like, maybe I should, I don't know, this is too big of a price for me. I couldn't be able to do it, but it's very interesting that this kid pointed out, oh, I see, because you're neither on my side or else. You're just here, so you're not gonna grant me this without any pay, without the price. So he does need to pay a whole lot to gain the power of a god, and I can see why, because those eyes are OP. Apparently, all the eyes in the anime world are OP. And I love the concept, don't get me wrong. It's just, So, okay, this is a plot twist that I did not see coming. So there are more powers that these creatures, gods of death, have. And they are able to bestow that upon the human who gains the Death Note, but it comes with a price. So yeah, that is very similar to the, shaky hands with the devil to get what you want. So I would happily decline this offer. I don't know in what direction is this kid gonna go, but yeah, this is awesome. I love how, you know, he comes across a wall that he cannot, you know, go through, and then this God is like, but I have a door right here to solve all your problems, but this is the price for it. You know, they always find a way to progress the story, and I am loving this plot, this, wow, wow, and so many life questions based on only 3 episodes. Is what he's doing wrong or right? Can it be considered right? You know, a lot. And that guy that's hunting him down, like hiding behind a screen, and this kid, like actually managing to steer up the waters in the police force. We saw those guys give their resignations. They don't want to work on the case anymore because, yeah, fear spreads like that, and people are easily ruled by fear. It's been going on throughout the ages. Okay, that's the most useful weapon against people, fear. Okay, just get fear in their hearts and they'll fall in line like soldiers. That's just facts. Okay, truth. Anyway, guys, I'm not gonna prolong this any further. I really enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. I'll be seeing you on the next one. Bye, guys.